Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, especially 14-year-olds this week, how you doing? Welcome to the Con and Bob podcast. Remember last week how I alienated 14-year-olds? And they got mad at me. All right, those kids got mad at me. No, I'm joking. There's no 14-year-old kids got mad at me. But yeah, I started off the podcast by saying, screw 14-year-olds. So there you go. This podcast is especially for you, you 14-year-olds. But welcome, Bob. How you doing, man?
That side of the podcast is for you.
Just right here. Wait.
This side is for everyone.
So your mature audiences only, and I'm like the 14-year-olds over here. Okay, all right, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm the Attitude Era, and you're the PG.
Oh, come on. It's true, but come on. Oh, buddy, man. Frag.
Oh, man.
So, man, how you been? Yeah, how you been? Let's talk about you. How you been?
Good. Just just enjoying my fresh haircut that showed off last week.
Yeah.
You know,
the villain Bob Club. So the guy named like the villain in our live chat, he was a fan of your haircut, dude. He loves it.
Yeah, I like it, man. This is like, I'm going to keep it this way because I'm still trying to grow the top because I'm an angel sent from heaven above and I'm donating it.
Wait, really? Oh, sweet, man. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm a hero, man.
Gives himself a pat on the back. Seriously.
Just a heel version. Like, yeah, good for me.
Yeah, good for me.
No,
yeah.
It's nice, but I like the short side. So I literally, by the time I donate it, going to be a little Pete Dunne-esque.
Man.
Because it's going to be a bit long on top.
Well, you're going to have to give us the big reveal once it happens. Like, we need the inside scoop on Bob's haircut right here on the Con and Bob podcast.
Maybe I'll film we'll film the actual cut for the donation.
Yo, let's do that SummerSlam weekend. Grow it all the way to SummerSlam.
If it's long enough by SummerSlam.
Have this long hair like Aleister Black just dripping down your back. Dude, you're gonna
Hopefully it's long enough by then, but I don't know that it will be.
Because that would be really cool to do at SummerSlam weekend. Do some sort of Bob's haircut and donate it to whatever, right? But let's talk about Monday Night Raw this week. So obviously,
wrestling.
You know, what was your thoughts on the week? Did you like this week, or were you a little bit thrown off at times?
So I really liked this week for again, like the wrestling. It's almost like last week too. The wrestling wasn't anything crazy.
Yeah,
there was good. There was whatever. Most of it. But the actual like storytelling and development and moving forward is what had me hooked.
There were some, I will agree with you on that. Like there were some stories that definitely moved ahead. There are some stories that literally are moving in quicksand and moving behind. Like I'm talking Natalya, Ruby, Riott. What the hell? Why did that go backwards so much?
Sorry. I meant the major storylines.
Okay, so major storylines. Yeah.
Yeah, like the major WrestleMania-esque storylines. Those really like kept me engaged.
Okay.
And kept me good.
So like
those ones, there were a lot of dumb, stupid little things.
There were. There were so many dumb little stupid things this week. Like you said, I thought as well, you know, the main events where all the writing is being focused on with WWE. Yeah, like, you know, it's been good. That's been good stuff. Like the whole Becky, Ronda, Charlotte thing. The feud over on SmackDown Live with Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan. Like the main stories are getting good writing right now, but the other stuff is just getting so writing. So why don't we dive right into it, man, as we start off with Roman Reigns.
Before we go, you'll all notice that I am wearing the Con Man hat today.
And why is that, man?
It's because I'm wearing a navy crew neck and it goes better with it than the black. And
we both know that's really not the true reason. You are a diehard Con fan at heart. You know, like you probably sit in your room just listening to Con Man videos on repeat and just be like, oh man, I wish I could be Con, but now I got to be Bob.
I've never seen one actually. Do you do videos on this channel? Is that what happens?
The occasional one. All right, why don't you start us off with Roman Reigns? Tell us a little bit about him.
All right, Roman comes out, cuts a good promo. It was a good promo. Calls out Seth Rollins. It was a good promo. And Seth Rollins, I loved that they had Seth come out and be like, oh yeah, as soon as I win this title, like you're the number one in line. And Roman's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not why I called you out here. I called you out here because I want to get the band back together. And I'm like,
So,
yes.
I got to ask you immediately. The band getting back together, the Shield.
Roman is turning heel.
Okay, we can have a conversation with this. You think Roman's going to turn heel?
I don't necessarily think it, but I think it could happen.
Definitely
I think it would be a very intriguing way, and I think it would be huge because for him to come back as this mega hero, right? And then all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm the heel now. Like, that's how we could lead to Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns.
Like, maybe.
At WrestleMania.
And see, I'm still thinking we get Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, but I don't think...
In a face versus face?
No, I don't. I think Dean Ambrose is going back heel. His whole turn has been so weird. His whole resentment with the Shield has been weird. The whole storyline building to this comeback of the Shield is weird. And at the end of the day, we still have not heard anything from Dean Ambrose why he targeted Roman Reigns, why he went after him with the leukemia and all that. Why was he such a dick? He burnt his Shield vest, right? These are not the characteristics of a guy who wants to be aligned with them. He came back down to the ring to save them, but I believe that is essentially just his payback, or not payback, just his thank you for them doing the same thing the previous week. They came down to save him. He felt bad enough that, they saved him last week. He's got to go save them now. And I think that's where the story lies, not the fact that Dean Ambrose is really 100% with the Shield. Even though he put his fist in the middle, I think there's something more here, man. I think there is.
So I was thinking about that too, and I was thinking about I was thinking about future term. If Roman goes heel, you can get a heel Roman face Seth Rollins rival for over the Universal title.
Yep, you can.
Right? And it would be great. If Roman goes heel, it would be a weird heel turn because it would probably initially be like a turn heel mainly on Dean Ambrose for what Dean Ambrose did, which isn't really a heel turn, but it's heel because it's like, oh no, it's okay. I want to get the band back together. Come in, trust me. And then betrays him.
I get where you're going.
And then Dean could just be like the face, like, oh, I was going through some stuff or whatever. And then Roman can just gradually get more and more dickish.
I get what you're saying. Trust me. I understand where you're coming from. There's no way after Roman Reigns just beat leukemia, put it into remission, is starting up charities, going around the world with Make-A-Wish foundations for patients of leukemia, trying to spread a positive message, saying he has new meaning, and he is finally... Hold up. And he is finally getting over with the crowd. You do not turn him heel now. You do not. That is the one time you don't turn him heel.
Yes, but if WWE were going to turn him, it's not beyond WWE to do that.
No, it's
not. I won't be crazy shocked if they turned him heel. I'd be like, okay.
I agree with you on that. There.
Okay,
yeah.
You got me. But also the charity stuff and all that. Forget about that because
I can't.
Stephanie McMahon has been a heel for her entire
career. But it's different.
And she's the most saint of a woman.
But it's different.
She's the greatest woman alive.
That's Stephanie McMahon.
It's like Stephanie McMahon, Michelle Obama. Stephanie McMahon is an amazing human being. She has, but never really truly been a face, right? It's like when you look back on her career, it's like, oh, Steph was pretty much a career heel.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you on that. There's just a difference, though, between Stephanie McMahon, a backstage character, and a guy who little kids are looking up to, who have just seen him defeat one of the biggest things that you can ever go through, right? Mm-hmm. If you wanted to turn him heel, they would have done it a long time ago. Vince is drooling on the fact that he's getting Roman Reigns' babyface chance. He's not turning heel.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. They probably won't because he's so over with the crowd right now.
Mm-hmm.
But fantasy booking, how they could turn him heel.
Okay,
Hear me
fantasy.
out.
All right, I'll hear you out here.
Backstage video. They have a camera crew following him. He's going around the world to Make-A-Wish foundations. Little kid, you're my hero. I have leukemia too. Like, oh my God, can I get your autograph? Can I get a picture with you? Takes a picture, right? Boom. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. Kids crying. Roman's crying. Crying. He turns around, goes to walk away. Kid's walking away. He turns back, looks at the kid. The kid goes, he's like, hey, kid. Kid turns around. Roman just runs and Superman punches this child. That's how he turns in.
What?
And it's on WWE Network. They show it on Monday Night Raw.
Becca, Bob just said Roman Reigns should Superman punch a little kid who is a kid. What? No, Bob! Bob! I am so glad you're not hearing this right now. Oh my God.
He'd be the most hated human.
You don't punch a freaking kid?
No,
what the?
In all fairness, I didn't say how old the kid was.
You implied it. No, I'm sorry, but a 20-year-old is not there. You're talking of a little kid.
Like 17. Like 17 maybe, on the verge of becoming an adult. No, you're not behind this fantasy book?
No. I am not. You don't go punching little kids. Oh my God, man.
Wrestling this.
I don't know if we can even continue from that. Regardless, let's move on.
I liked this segment. I thought that it was really good. Dean came out and they got attacked by Elias.
It was a good way to follow up, and at least, a good overarching theme for the night. I don't even know who you are, man. Like, this is good.
It was a good way to open the show.
Okay.
And it was solid, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, all right. We'll move on. Let's get off Roman Reigns. So, Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman. Corbin, Lashley, McIntyre pick up the win, and they were obviously building towards a Shield versus this, what did they call themselves? The Premier Athletes of Raw, or the Premier Athletes of the World, or something like that?
Something stupid.
Yeah. I feel bad for McIntyre.
Although I did like their backstage segment, like their interview. It wasn't bad.
Corbin sounded good on the mic. I'll give him credit there. He sounded very good. One question, though. I got to ask you something. Do you think the heels are completely forgotten that he is not the general manager of Raw anymore? Because why are they doing his bidding? Seriously, why are they doing Baron Corbin's bidding? He doesn't hold any power anymore. It's a little weird, especially somebody like Drew McIntyre, who just dumped his buddy Dolph Ziggler to go out on his own, and now he's in this trio. I would have rather see the trio of Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre stay together for a longer time.
I think he with Dolph, I think it was like he was tired of carrying Dolph's weight, whereas with Baron and Bobby, I think that he feels as though they can carry their own weight.
And I get that from a storyline.
Better than Dolph.
Okay, I get that from a storyline point, so I won't nitpick that one too much. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it's a weird combo of the three. We've said it many times. It's probably one of the most uninteresting factions that you could put together in terms of getting us to buy into storylines. Like, it's just three big men, right? There's no extra dynamics. You got Drew McIntyre, who's a star in the making right now, but this doesn't feel like it's his program, right? So the eyes aren't on it. Baron Corbin, is essentially just the casual fans' heel, and that's what this match is going to be. So at least the trio got the win over Balor, Angle, and Strowman. I loved the finish of Braun Strowman crashing through the barricade with his run around the outside.
Like he died.
Oh my God, Leo looked like he was in rough shape. Leo Rush, though, credit to him, he is killing it in the last few weeks.
Amazing.
Absolutely killing it.
Amazing.
Yep. I also like how Braun Strowman got built up in this match to be a little bit better. He looked like he was a little more feared, and the only reason he wasn't in the finish of the match was because he went crashing through the barricade. I liked it.
I liked the the awareness and the pace that the trio of McIntyre, Lashley, and Corbin went at as soon as they saw Strowman go through.
I agree.
Because
yeah.
they went, oh, first of all, they're now outnumbered. Second of all, their biggest, most powerful, most dangerous guy is now taken out for we don't know how long it's going to be. We need to act. We need to act now.
Mm-hmm. And they went after the smallest guy.
Yeah, and I liked how they did that. I also really liked this match in general. I thought it was just solid. I thought there was good. Like, it was just a good, solid wrestling match. But I really liked, if you're going to do a 3v3, I like the way that this is kind of 3 guys that each of them have something going on with the other 3 guys, right? It's like almost a little New Japan-ish, how New Japan kind of does that, just throws these things like interacting one-on-one storylines. And it's like, okay, well, you guys team up with these guys, and then all of you. But on top of that, the aspect that one of those 2 trios is already a trio.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've already basically established themselves as a trio, but they still have these one-on-one storylines with people.
Yeah, definitely a fan of it.
That was cool.
Yeah, definitely a fan of that. It just makes sense from a basic booking standpoint. You know, you have feuds going on, multi-man match. You know, you can tell stories inside the ring. You can have people pin the other person. You can have people pin other people to say they get a win over top of that person. It's a very easy transitional match to get to, you know, the big conclusion of the feud or whatever it may be, or to reach the next point in the feud. I'm a big fan of multi-man matches, fatal 4-ways, triple threats, 6-man tags. Those are great storytelling matches, right? You can tell so many different stories in one segment. I love them. I'm glad to see, though, that they're at least trying to build up Strowman again. Like I said, he lost so much steam for so long that at least they have been spotlighting him, and over the past couple weeks with these matches, he's getting like hot tags. He's coming back. He's destroying people. He's fitting into the role that got him over in the first place. You know, being a Neanderthal who just runs through people in the ring. That's fine. That's fine for me. Fine character for Braun Strowman.
If they want to keep growing him too, what they should do is at WrestleMania, he has a tag team championship opportunity, and Nicholas comes back out, and he betrays Nicholas. He power slams Nicholas in the center of the ring.
What do you want? Do you want Roman Reigns to come out and Superman punch that kid too? Like,
yes. And then Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman are a tag team.
What is your child abuse? Like, what is the reason for all this child abuse? I don't understand it, man. God, like.
No, I agree though. I like Braun Strowman, how he felt in that match. I thought everybody. I mean, Finn took the pin, right?
Yes, Finn took the pin off of a spear from Bobby Lashley, though, which was good. I like that, because what it does is it tells the story of Bobby Lashley picking up a clean pinfall over top of Finn on the go-home show before what's likely going to be they're going to have a match for the IC title at some point, right? Like, at some point, they're going to get that match. So this gives Bobby Lashley a clean win over him. Finn Balor should probably win the match against Bobby Lashley to get out of that feud. But it just gives Bobby Lashley a reason, you know, to challenge for the title again.
I think where we are right now, who are our what's the thing that I'm mid-card title? Yep. Like our mid-card titles holders, the Intercontinental and the now United States Champion. I like who they are. I think it should stay that way for a little bit. I'm a fan.
Yep. I absolutely 100% agree.
So I don't think Finn should be losing it anytime soon. I also don't think that he should have been pinned, because I love Finn.
Yeah, I love Finn. Honestly, Angle should be taking the pin in that match. He should be.
That's what I thought too.
But at the end of the day, the reason why they did it was, you know, just Finn Balor got distracted on the outside. There's your cop out for him losing, and Bobby Lashley pinning him gives Bobby Lashley another reason to go after the IC title.
And then the aspect of them attacking Finn after also like factors in. He's the one that's in the ring. He's right there. Everyone else is out. Do it.
Yep. At the end of the day, it probably is just going to build up more fan support for Finn Balor. And hopefully we won't be putting the title back on Bobby Lashley. Okay, let's go on to the next match that I've got a massive problem with. Natalya versus Ruby Riott. What I don't like about this immediately is... Well, actually, let me take you back, all right? Let me take you back to this very start of the match. I was praising for the fact that they put them back in there at the very start of the match, because I thought Ruby Riott coming off of a massive 2 matches against Ronda Rousey, First match she lost in no time because she didn't have the Riott Squad out there with her. Second match, she took Ronda freaking Rousey to her limit because also the Riott Squad was out there. This match, Natalya just had the feud with Ruby Riott not too long ago. You gave Natalya the win, and then she has been left doing nothing, right? Ruby Riott and the Riott Squad are a legitimate faction, and with a tag team division right now, you want to be building them up. They put her back in there against Natalya, and in no time, had her lose. With the Riott Squad still out there. So you're telling us, every single fan watching at this very moment, that she can take Ronda freaking Rousey to her limit, but can't pin Natalya, and she gets beat by her in 4 minutes?
Yeah, it was a short match. It was a roll-up, so I guess that's fine.
No, not that either. It's not with these guys' history. Not with the history they have, right?
No, I mean fine in the sense she didn't tap out. She didn't beat her. It was a roll-up, but it was too quick. And also, the wrong person. If you're gonna... Why is Natalya beating Ruby Riott?
Exactly.
Behind Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, who is Raw's number one threat to the
Ruby Riott. Ruby Riott.
So why is Natalya beating Ruby Riott that easily, that quickly? If Natalya beat Sarah Logan, or should I say Sarah Rowe now?
I see what you're doing there. Yeah.
Or if Natalya beat Liv Morgan.
Those would make sense.
Do that. It makes more sense. But Ruby and Riott, the leader of the Riott Squad, the person, like you said, who had just taken Ronda to her limit, and literally a hell of a show. And she saved herself essentially with that match alone because of how shitty the booking was at Elimination Chamber. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, then on Monday Night Raw, she has an incredible match, and we literally said ourselves, Elimination Chamber was stupid. This match should have been on Elimination Chamber. Mm-hmm. Okay, Ruby's back there. Ruby is there for me. She's right there. But no, let's let Natalya, and you know how much I love Natalya, one of the best technician wrestlers,
future Hall of
in
Famer,
the WWE, definitely one of the top technician wrestlers on the women's roster. And I'm I like to see her do good things. I like to see her beat people like Liv Morgan or Tamina or whatever, that type of thing. But I do not want to see her beat Ruby Riott unless your plan is to have Natalya be the next challenger for the championship.
Absolutely agree. Couldn't have said it any better myself, man. That is... You're dead on. There is no reason for it. And especially when, with the Riott Squad out there, right? With the Riott Squad out there, that's just the biggest lack of attention to detail I think I have seen in a while with WWE. Mm-hmm. The whole reason why Ronda beat Ruby so quickly was because she didn't have the Riott Squad out there. That was the story you were telling us. I thought it was a crap story to tell at the time because it doesn't make that big of a difference. But if that's a story you're going to tell it consistently. All right.
Maybe it's because Natalya trained Ronda and helped her get adjusted to the WWE. And that's why she's so much better than Ronda.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then tell that story. No, think about that. That should have been the story being told there. Ruby Riott.
It's so dumb.
When Natalya and Ruby Riott had their feud with Jim the Anvil Neidhart passing and all that, and they gave Natalya the win, right? If you wanted to move on to a Ronda-Natalya feud, that would have been the time. If that was a story you were trying to tell, but instead they moved to Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey.
Yep. Can we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. Let's go to the Triple H promo.
Let's go to the best segment of the week.
Okay, so this is your top segment of the week, eh? The Triple H promo?
Triple H is my MVP.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm going to reveal that right now.
You got it then, man. Tell the fans.
This man was so captivating during this promo. To me, I don't know, I don't want to speak for everyone, obviously, whatever. You like what you like. I like what I like.
Yep.
This man was so captivating. I love that they were breaking the fourth wall. I'm a little bit disappointed that he didn't say you're going to be stepping in the ring with the man, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Or Paul Levesque. I thought he should have said Paul. Or
I
Paul
think he
Levesque.
forgot. I think he was supposed to. I think it slipped, to be quite honest. Yeah.
I loved pretty much everything about this segment. I love it. It's getting me hyped. And I'm legitimately just picturing a brawl. Like a full-blown, this match can't have needs a stipulation.
No
It needs to be
holds
no DQ,
barred. Yep.
No holds barred, street fight-esque, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, knock the man out type of match. And I'm so excited. And I love how he broke the wall, like I said. And he was like, really? You're going to... And you can feel the face turn of Triple H and Stephanie McMahon later on, which I'll get to, coming. And I honestly think that WWE is building toward Steph and Triple H taking over the WWE. And Vince will be gone.
All right. I can see that.
Gone, but he's not going to have
taking a
as
step
much
back.
creative control. He's older. He's probably like, I got to take a step back. I got to, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately think that it's building toward this is now your guys' company. Do it and do it right. And Triple H is such a badass. He's
BAMF, right?
He is one. Yeah. Oh man, he is one bad mother. Like I'm literally watching it and I'm getting chills throughout it, and I'm like literally like drooling at the mouth, waiting for this fight now. I'm like, this is a fight.
It is.
It is not a wrestling match. I love that Richard Fleer, like the littlest things, like the little things.
The little things, yeah.
The Richard Fleer bit. I love the, oh, really? You're going to do the cookie cutter, like bad guy thing, Dave? I'm like, give me it now.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want WrestleMania. And literally, I will tell you this. As soon as that segment was on and he started getting into that heated moment, I don't think that the promo was even done. And I wrote down, I literally opened up, and I just told you 15, 20 minutes ago, I don't make my notes while I watch. I do my notes after. But I literally opened it and made a separate note after, like, immediately. MVP, Triple H.
Triple H, okay.
It's the fourth segment of Monday Night Raw. I haven't watched anything else, and I'm like, Triple H is my MVP no matter what happens this week.
He was great.
He was great because of that segment.
He was great. I'm gonna poke out one little detail that I will say I don't want to be the focus of this. Okay? There is so many good things about breaking the fourth wall, making the fight feel real, making the match feel bigger, right? Dave, Paul, this feels like it's going to be a fight, like you said. What I don't like though is when you have some other matches on the card that are just as vicious, right? Just as just as aggressive. Let's talk about the Becky Lynch Ronda Rousey feud, right? Sort of thing, in Charlotte Flair. You are calling this match real, but in process you are calling the other matches going on fake. Right? You're saying, This is going to be a real match, folks. It's all good. This is going to be a real fight. This is the one that you don't know what's going to happen. This is going to be a real fight. The other ones we've already know that it's all scripted. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Whatever. But this fight is real. That's the only thing I don't like about that. However, it made the segment feel a lot stronger. It made the characters feel a lot bigger. And that's the only tiny nitpicking thing I will say. Other than that, loved every little bit of the segment. And I also loved hearing, them say their real names, like Dave and all that. Mm-hmm. Just the mention of real. Sorry, 1 sec. The mention of real. I just don't like that. Right? Because we have to suspend our disbelief while watching wrestling to begin with. Let's not remind us that it's not real.
I think the only match not to compare it to would be the Triple Threat women's match, because they've already kind of talked about how, like, and they did a great job later in the night, how Ronda was like, I could spit in your direction and break your nose. Like, I will. And that type of thing, I think that match is probably right there with it in the aspect of like, okay, this
blurring.
has a
But here's
feel.
the thing, that they're blurring the lines of reality, right? Like, that's what they're doing in that match. Triple H and Dave Bautista are straight up.
Reality.
They're straight up trying to relay the fact that this is reality. We know it's a work. All of us fans know it's a work.
Yeah.
But they are trying to promote that as reality. And the other stories, they do a better job at just trying to blur the lines. Think of Kofi Kingston being pulled out by Vince McMahon, right? The fans are cheering for Kofi and he gets pulled out. That is blurring the lines of reality, right? Because Vince McMahon, this is totally not anything racist here, but Vince McMahon has not really pushed black superstars in the past towards the top, right? Definitely not supposed to be me trying to say a racist thing or anything. That is just the cold hard truth. So fans are going to buy into that with the Kofi Kingston thing. Him being removed from the main event, that is blurring the lines of reality. Saying this is real and that everything else is essentially put on fake, let's not do that. Let's just focus on blurring the lines of reality. Keep calling him Dave. Keep saying you're in there with Paul, but don't say directly that this is going to be real. You know what I mean? Does that make sense how I'm coming across there?
Yeah, I understand that. I think from the individual standpoint or the individual promo standpoint, I loved every second of it.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, they got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love though too, just side note, the I'll come, like, you want me to come to your house? Do you want to come to mine? Like,
I would love it. Oh my god, dude! If they replayed like the Randy Orton Triple H house invasion angle with Batista and Trips again, dude, I would mark out so hard.
Yeah. Actually, there was a note that I wanted to ask you about.
Yep.
Which this kind of relates to, because these are two older superstars that are very, I guess, old school-ish in the aspect of very character-driven, very over-the-top, like, character and whatnot. Did you hear Taker's criticisms, I guess? I think it was from this week.
No, I didn't.
I heard it. So Undertaker was interviewed. I thought it was from this week because he was talking about like Ricochet and Aleister Black and this new crop and whatnot. And I'm pretty sure it was that. And he said how these newer stars are amazing athletes, but they're very move focused. And wrestling isn't about the moves. It's about the story that you tell. And basically, he didn't directly say, I don't think, but he indirectly said, they don't tell as good of a story. Like, they don't focus on that. They're very flashy. Basically a Vader-esque thing, but not to Vader's extent, how Vader ripped on Ricochet with Ospreay. But not to that level of criticism, just like a criticism like, listen, we focused on the stories. So the aspect that this Batista Triple H match will be focused so much on the story of it. Yeah.
I don't like that comment. That's a very old school comment. That's a very in the past comment. If that's what Undertaker thinks, then he clearly has not been watching NXT. He clearly has not been watching the superstars down there. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano is one of, if not the best told story in wrestling over like the past decade. Is that safe to say? Since Shawn Michaels Undertaker WrestleMania, those back-to-back manias, there has not been a better story told since, I don't think. Since John, it's up there. You got CM Punk, John Cena, Money in the Bank, in that whole Summer of Punk story, but that kind of fell flat. You're talking it's top 5 without a doubt. And Undertaker saying that they can't tell story has clearly not been watching that then.
Yeah, and I think he was huge on the in-ring storytelling,
which they do. They do so well.
They do. I honestly think that this older level of wrestlers and that have this mentality of it are like, they see these flips and these like athletic moves and kind of circus-esque unnecessary things like the Aleister Black like go to run out and then backflip off the middle rope and sit down, right? Or the Ricochet like handspring backflip, whatever, and like land down. Stuff like that. Like, they see those and they're like, oh, they're not telling a story. And I'm like, watch the other parts though. Like, watch. And really, you can only tell as much of a story as you can in a 5-10 minute match, right?
And
Sometimes it's tough.
And also, you can only tell so much of a story in a 5-10 minute match when you're on NXT with only an hour, right? You're talking about an hour episodic weekly television show that is developmental, and they're trying to get new people on the card at all times, while maintaining trying to tell a good story, while trying to qualify for only 1 of 5 spots on the TakeOver card that happens only 4 times a year, sometimes 5 times a year. There's not a lot of opportunities down in NXT for so-called storytelling. So how these people get themselves over is by telling the story in the ring with the moves. And isn't that what wrestling's supposed to be about at the end of the day? Not the character work outside of it, not the Triple H promos, but the wrestling match. The match that makes you mark out, that makes you chant, holy shit, that makes you say, this is awesome. You don't get that during, at least, well, you don't always, but you sometimes get it during a promo, but you don't regularly get a this is awesome chant during a promo. No. The promo is to set up the match, which, yes, takes storytelling, no doubt about that. But anybody who is going to deliver a hard-hitting, good match in the ring and tell a good story in the ring is going to matter so much more than a 5-minute promo to hype you up for that match.
Yeah.
It's just basic facts.
All right, the last thing that I will say about this before we move on is you know me, you know the type of wrestling that I enjoy. My most important part in wrestling is probably the in-ring story.
Yep.
The story of what is happening while they're actually wrestling. Not as much, like, I love promos and I love the character development in that story, and I love the athleticism, and I'm like, oh my god, that's a wild move, that's incredible. But for me, the most important part is and the matches that I love the most are in-ring stories where I'm like, oh, like the I'm sorry, I love you. Yes. And the things like that, right? And I'm like, those things are what get me as a fan, like, oh man, that was a good match. And watching these NXT superstars, these athletic guys, the Johnny Garganos, the Tommaso Ciampas, Ricochet, the Velveteen Dream, the Aleister Black, those things are amazing. Always. They're like, I didn't even know the storyline leading up to Aleister Black and Velveteen Dream when that match happened. I remember you just telling me, like, basically what's been happening is this. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not like a huge over the top, like overwhelming, amazing story, but whatever. But the storytelling of it in the ring, I was like, oh shit, this is the best match on the card because of what just happened in that ring relating to the story and the way that they like.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, man. And it's also, it's so very difficult when you look at a character like Aleister Black and tell me that is not a character who's going to give you good stories. Right? That's a little weird. So, Undertaker, I love you, man, but come on.
It's a weird group of people to be targeting about it. Like, not certain other people that are already on the main roster.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like a guy just trying to cling on to fame. It's sad to say for The Undertaker there, but going after the young stars of tomorrow, saying that they're not good enough at telling stories, when NXT is stealing shows after shows after shows being the talk of the wrestling world, that sounds like a guy who's clinging on to a little bit of his old school mentality, right? We don't need flips to get over. We can do it with straight up character work. Well, I'm sorry. This is the way the wrestling business is gone now.
He's always been a bit of a hard ass.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as the wrestling world knows about things. And he seems very old school, like doesn't like the change aspect. And shit changes. Like things happen. Things change. It's like an old hockey player being like, oh, today's game
is too fast.
It's too soft, or it's too soft. Like, they have these amazing handles. They're not as good as we were because they're not as tough. And you're like, the game's changed.
Yep,
they're more athletic. They're more athletic. Use it. It's entertainment that way.
That is the perfect segue there, or not even segue, but just the perfect reference for Undertaker there. Evolve with the times.
Speaking of segue, though, it is a great segue because speaking of athletic, Otis.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, we'll roll with that. Could have done better. Heavy Machinery, though. So, I'm going to split this into two. I'm going to split this in one focusing on Heavy Machinery, two on the Raw Tag Team Division, all right? Mm-hmm. Heavy Machinery, this was an excellent showcase for them. Fantastic. You know, they've got a gimmick now. Don't piss off Otis Dojovic. That's his name, right? Otis Dojovic? Or
Otis.
Definitely. Don't piss off Otis. And don't piss off Tucker Knight, right? Tucker Knight's mic skills continue to impress me. I like his mic work. He's sounding really confident on the microphone. Otis surprised me when he went from his like, oh yeah, like that weird voice that he does to his soft-spoken mad voice. There is potential there for a tag team. A hard-hitting tag team who's entertaining in the ring, who has a gimmick. That is tag team. But let's split this onto the other side of the gauntlet matches. Ascension, B-Team, and who else was in there? Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins.
Ryder,
yeah. This is your tag team division right now, man.
That's
on Monday Night Raw.
All of the tag teams on Monday Night Raw.
You're missing Lucha House Party. You're missing Revival. And you're missing Chad Rude and Bobby Gable. Chad Rude, Bobby Gable. I did, dude, I did that on the stream, and then I did that also on the following night on the stream. That is the third time I've done that in as many days. That is insane. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. Oh my god. Yeah, and one other. I didn't include
AOP. Those other two Revival. I didn't include Revival and Gable and Rude because they were involved in a segment later.
Yes.
I forgot about
and then
Lucha.
AOP, but
and
like
AOP's injured.
See,
right
like
now,
that's the thing. Like we're talking about these tag teams, and how many of those we look at it and say, "All right, I want to see this team versus this team at the pay-per-view." Right? There is not much depth to the tag team division, and they just squashed all of your jobbers. All the people who could, like, even Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Let's talk about them being the story. All they need is to be built up, get a lucky win, and they have momentum. Because Kurt Hawkins' losing streak, as soon as that ends, he's going to get a massive pop. Wherever it is.
100%.
If they build up to it right.
I think it should be at WrestleMania on the kickoff show. I legitimately think it should be WrestleMania.
Give Kurt Hawkins the win of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to end his undefeated.
Shit.
There you go. That would be a fun pop.
That would be wild.
Be a fun pop, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like you just don't want to bury your entire tag team division. It just showed the sore state that the tag team division really is in on Monday Night Raw. And they could use a shakeup, and that is undisputed. Yeah?
Yeah. I think that it's just sad when you look through the division because, like, B-Team has been champions before, but I don't think that they should win it again, or at least not anytime soon, and the reigns will never mean anything.
Yep.
Like, be big, right? Gable and Rude are surprisingly better than what we initially thought it was going to be. But again, they don't have the, like, from a name brand tag team perspective, you have Revival.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. AOP, I guess, when they come back, right?
Yeah.
If they're not hurt from the
thing is, though, they slightly hurt AOP beforehand. Like,
I know.
They took away their mystique.
I know. But then when you look at SmackDowns, look at how many people could win the tag team championships and have it as meaningful reigns, and we would be like, okay, cool. The Bar, despite their couple losses the last few weeks, the Bar would be good from a name brand perspective only. The Bar, Hardy Boys, Usos, New Day. You have 4 legitimate champions.
Sanity, and Sanity, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Yeah, that's enough. Like 2 teams that have been significantly hurt, but those 2 teams, like, move those 2. What have they been doing? Move those 2 teams to Raw.
Absolutely agree. Like, Gallows and Anderson, I don't understand. They are so good. Carl Anderson is hands down one of the best sellers WWE has, and his spine buster is a thing of beauty. They know how to work matches. They have history over in Japan. They've got the fan base behind them. They've got the diehards and the casuals. They've got their little shtick of nerd. Why aren't they being pushed at all? Right? They've got everything. They check all the boxes.
And if it's a crowded SmackDown tag team division, Move them to Raw. You don't need the shakeup, right? Like, people won't care. Kevin Owens was on Raw when he got injured. When he came back, he's on SmackDown.
Becky Lynch and Charlotte are fighting for the Raw Women. Well, we're going to fight for the Raw Women's Championship at Fastlane. And they're both SmackDown superstars.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, you don't, if it's something like that, where it's a Kevin Owens situation or Gallows and Anderson, where like they haven't been on TV, they're not around, nobody knows where they've been, they can just return at any time, and them returning on Monday Night Raw could be huge.
Could be.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I would return them as, honestly, I might return them as faces.
I would too.
Like with like Balor there, especially in his current role, but
oh my god!
Especially,
oh my god! Think about this. How easy would it be? They're literally, there's literally a trio on. Oh my god! There's literally a trio on Monday Night Raw who has got issues with Finn Balor. Get them through the Shield match, have them lose to them, start going after Finn Balor some more. He's getting beat down. Gallows and Anderson come make the save. Balor Club united. It's that simple. WrestleMania match right there. That trio versus Balor Club. Like, that's not hard to book, right? Like, yeah, seriously. All right.
That's all we have to say.
Let's go on to the next match. Dean Ambrose versus Elias. We're actually just going to start ripping through these a little bit quicker because we have already talked about these segments. So Dean Ambrose versus Elias. Elias beat Dean after delivering the high knee to him and then hitting him with the drift away. Another loss for Dean Ambrose. But the story is told that Dean Ambrose really can't do it without the Shield. That's what was told tonight. That he kind of needs his brethrens. Yeah. Anything that you got to touch on that match before we move on?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense that Dean continues to lose, to me at least. And
yeah,
you know what? I did like that they actually allowed Elias to sing a little bit and like play a little bit and actually get through a bit of it.
I said this on the stream. I said this on the stream. It's really, Elias is the perfect heel act because he's a transitional act. He's one that you can go to commercial break with. He's one that you can come back from commercial break with. He's one that you can send other superstars out there to begin a feud. He's one's, like, anything with his segment. It's a mix of a talk show, a promo, and a transitional segment. It is perfect. He is the ultimate mid-card act. He really is. All right, let's get to the Shield.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, let's get to the Shield reuniting now. So this was rushed throughout the night. Obviously, with Fastlane coming up, they kind of got rushed back into the Shield match. The story kind of was told from a week ago, you know, but the Shield reuniting was a little bit rushed. But regardless, it's going to work. It's going to be fun. We are going to get to see the Hounds of Justice come on down at Fastlane one more time. Regardless what happens, maybe after the match, during the match, or whatever, it's going to be fun to see the Shield reunited one more time. Yeah, and like I said, I kind of hope Dean turns on Roman, and you're kind of hoping that Roman turns on Dean and Seth.
Not
or
hoping,
something.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, you're hoping he punches a kid.
I wasn't hoping. I said if they were gonna do it, it would be right now.
You just want to see some kids punched in the face.
I don't.
See Bob?
I don't. I love children. I'm a loving uncle of many children. I adore children. They're free, their imagination and whatnot. But I just think that from what is best for business.
He's seeing a kid get punched in the face.
No. Is if they were going to have Roman turn heel and it's not him betraying the Shield,
he's betraying
a little kid. Have him betray a leukemia patient who happens to be a Make-A-Wish Foundation child who happens to be a child. So next we had Tamina Snuka beating Sasha Banks.
Oh, man. It's almost as bad as seeing a kid get punched in the face. That was not good.
Yeah, it was not. That's our transition right there.
There we go. I literally, right here, man, look at this. On my notes, it says Sasha Banks Tamina. That's a terrible way to spell Tamina. But anyways, it says yikes. That's literally all I wrote down for it. It's just yikes.
It was bad.
When was the last time Tamina had a singles win? I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you.
You know what about it, though? From the stand, I did not like the match at all. I put a check mark beside it, meaning like it was good, quote unquote, for the aspect of booking, because they want to book Sasha and Bayley as the you trying to get rid of me?
Nope, I am not. Sorry.
They're trying to book Sasha and Bayley as the babyface underdog people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tamina and Nia as the powerhouse, mean heel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
From that aspect, have them lose the individual one-on-one matches. I get it. But from the name of Tamina,
thank you,
versus the name of Sasha Banks, Sasha's like a 4-time champion, is she?
Yeah.
4-time women's champion?
Something like that.
And one of the best female wrestlers probably of all time, because this current roster holds 7 of the greatest female wrestlers of all time.
Jeez. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like literally in the top 10 of female wrestlers of all time in ring aspect, I think 7 of them are.
This is the best. Era. This is the best class that WWE's ever had in terms of women's star power, and without a doubt.
So from that aspect, I'm like, why is Tamina beating Sasha Banks? And I hated it. I literally started to draw a down arrow to be like, it was a down. I hated it. And then I was like, wait, put yourself in a Booker's shoes from the aspect of heel beating face on Monday Night Raw so that the face team can win on the pay-per-view and retain their titles against this powerhouse heel team. Sure. Mm-hmm. I understand it. Do I like it? Hell no.
All right, good. That's all I need to hear was the hell no. Yeah,
Revival.
No.
Did you want to say anything on that shitty situation of a match?
All I gotta say is I wrote down yikes for Tamina beats Banks. I wrote down double yikes for that whole SNL segment. So that's all I gotta say with that. Yeah.
I didn't understand. I love Michael Che and Colin Jost, and I it's cool, whatever. I don't like this character that they've given Jost.
Let's not dissect this. We're not dissecting this. It was absolute crap. The irony of an actor asking if WWE is fake will never leave me. Come on. Come on. All right. Let's go to Revival versus Black and Ricochet. I gave this a standing ovation because the booking is finally on par where it needs to go.
Yeah.
You finally address the situation why Chad Roode and Bobby Gable why Bobby Roode and Chad Gable were left in the dark for this. You know, at least now the writers are realizing, oh yeah, we kind of skipped them, didn't we? We kind of just put them in against the very top guys and just said, you don't need to worry about the former champs at all. Thus turning them heel, I believe, with that attack.
I think so.
Yeah, it's Bobby Roode as a heel is going to be fantastic. Chad Gable's actually a really good heel as well.
Yeah, when he was with Benjamin as a heel, it was solid.
Yep, very solid work. So I'm excited to see that. We got some characters now in that tag team division. You know, and also I'm going to say this about Aleister Black and Ricochet. I will apologize because from the start I was not a fan of the idea of putting them together. You know that. We were talking about the Dusty Rhodes Classic.
Go back and listen and watch last week's podcast.
Yeah, it was literally just a week ago. They've been gelling in the ring together, and I'm watching, and they have. And since now they haven't really been promoting Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa at all. Have you heard about Tommaso Ciampa's injury?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but so they haven't been promoting them, so they've been focusing on Ricochet and Aleister Black as a tag team. And since they have lost the other 2 NXT call-ups, this is okay. Because now they're not being lumped into 4 people being called up from NXT, being interchanged in matches, not really mattering what's in the match. Now these 2 guys have a future tag team title opportunity. Mm-hmm. They have a story. They have a move in the center of the ring where Black did his backflip and Ricochet does his back handspring into whatever it was and landing at the exact same time. They look like they're starting to gel as a team, and I do apologize for doubting where they were going with that, because I enjoyed it this week, and I'm okay admitting that I was wrong.
Yeah. I thought, I don't know, I liked the segment. I thought obviously Ricochet and Aleister Black weren't going to beat Revival on Monday Night Raw for the titles.
They shouldn't at all. Like, Revival should be the ones to win this upcoming Sunday.
Yeah. But I also like it because Roode and Chad Roode and Bobby Gable, as you say, can take the fall. And I don't think it's going to hurt them necessarily. And you can still build to now a rivalry between them and Revival.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Revival need a big win. At the end of the day, the Revival need a big win. They've lost far too much to really be taken credible at this point. So let's give them a big win over two premier teams right there. Like, Aleister Black and Ricochet have all the momentum in the world right now. Chad Roode and Bobby Gable, they have a I did it on purpose. They've got some momentum now with the recent heel turn. You know, but the time is for Revival to finally pick up a meaningful highlight win. They need it.
Yep.
All right,
last segment.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey finally turning heel. Oh my God, yes.
The tights. She has her own tights now, finally.
They must be listening to the podcast. How often have we focused on her attire? Like, we have said that, you know, her attire needs to be changed to something. They did it, and she turns heel. I loved every bit of this segment. I loved the heel ideology of Ronda Rousey, giving up the title and then coming back a week later saying, no, I was just giving you a week to think about it. What a heel. What a heel. Yeah.
She did everything. She hit on that stuff. She hit on her opponents. She hit on, like, the universe being like, you guys booed me
and
out
she
of my
snapped.
hometown.
She snapped.
You guys are cheering for Becky when like this. And it's like, I've tried to be good. And I'm like, oh shit. This is how we get the 4 horsewomen. Heel Ronda. And I also love the aspect that now Becky is the only, again, assuming that we're going to get the triple threat match at Mania.
Yep.
I love that Becky is the only face in that match.
Me too. It makes it very easy booking for Becky Lynch.
Makes the climb much better too to overcome two.
Because we gotta remember also, like, as I've been seeing online, people are starting to crap all over the story, as WWE fans do, right? But you gotta also remember, we need another month of TV for these people, right? Like, these women right now, they need another month of TV.
It's a long build.
It's a long build. It's been built all the way since Survivor Series, right? So it's a long build, and you can only get there so long by keeping things as status quo, right? I'm sorry, but Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda, with just the feel that they had beforehand, was not going to make it all the way to WrestleMania. Now we have new life in the story. Now we have a new character. Now we have a heel Ronda Rousey. And I think that's going to push it all the way to WrestleMania. And at this point, it is obviously almost written in stone that Becky Lynch is going to win that title, right? It's going to be a big backlash if she doesn't. But for that reason, what if the plan is all along that they are pushing Becky's inevitable title win even further past WrestleMania? What are they thinking? Maybe the 4 horsewomen debut and cost them both the match at WrestleMania, and you have an uber heel in Ronda Rousey standing at the end of the show where Becky Lynch was supposed to win.
Yeah.
I mean, like, every bit of me likes to see a feel-good story for the WrestleMania main event, but how do you get another year's worth of television? How do you get people called up? How do you bring up, like, this epic feud? Closing out WrestleMania, that's the best way to do it. That will get people talking. I still would like to see Becky Lynch win. I still want to see her climb to the top, be successful. I think that's the right story, and I don't think they should deviate from that. But you can't help but think there's an opportunity there.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on that segment? Oh, he's going to go for Coffin. No,
I'm good.
All right. Cool. So let's go on over to SmackDown Live 2019 March 5th. So Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens. This show started out.
You said that.
I know, so weird. I read it very weird. Just ignore me, man. It's been another long day. Yeah, give me your thoughts on Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens segment to start off the show.
I liked it. I liked that Daniel Bryan with his vest looked like a young Zeb Coulter.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's awesome. Yeah.
He legitimately did. Just like, actually, I noticed it later when he was sitting on commentary. I was like, yeah, that vest makes him look like Zeb Coulter. But I don't know. I like it. KO's face turn is going well. I love the aspect that we're getting a face KO because I think before he even got injured, I was intrigued to see him as a face because we've only really seen him as a heel when he's been in the limelight. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, I want to see a face KO, see what he's capable of. And he's doing well. I don't know. I just like the character. I love Daniel Bryan's been great, obviously. I love that Rowan got some mic time.
Yes, me too. Love that.
I literally made a note. I was like, Rowan mic time.
Yep.
Because, like, he's there. Let him talk. If he's the intellectual that you're saying he is, let him speak.
Exactly.
Don't just make him the big...
Give him a character.
Let him talk.
Again,
Give him
characters.
And I thought it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I loved that just the heel aspect of Daniel Bryan coming out and pitching and throwing to a promo package.
Yeah. Just literally
like, meteoric rise and then
just
fall.
points to the... That was an amazing little detail. Didn't need to say a word to start the promo. Just points to the Titantron. What a dick.
I just thought it was brilliant to be like, God, he is an asshole.
He really is.
He's a dick.
I gotta float something by you here, man. I gotta ask you a little something about some potential booking that could happen.
Fatal 4-way.
Well, maybe. So I'm more talking about a potential return that could throw these plans a little bit haywire. What if? Because I'm not sure. Did you see Sami Zayn interacting with Daniel Bryan on Twitter over a little bit? Yeah, so Sami Zayn has been interacting with Daniel Bryan over about the last couple months since Daniel Bryan turned heel. And he has been reposting some of his stuff with some own comments. Sami Zayn is very much an intellectual like Daniel Bryan. He is very much an intellectual like the supposed character of Eric Rowan. They are very much both for the planet. They are very much both heels. What if Sami Zayn comes back to cost Kevin Owens the match at Fastlane, setting up a WrestleMania match, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens?
Ooh.
Is that something that would be maybe possible?
I mean, I know how good of matches those guys can put on forever in their careers. Like, anytime you're like, we're just going to do a Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens match, I'm going to be fine with it. Anytime we see a Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa match, I'm going to be fine with it. There's a few connections, I will say, because they're not rivalries. Sometimes they are. Sometimes
Andrade Ray.
Teams, Andrade Ray. Yeah. Then I'm like, give me that match forever.
Yeah. And fight forever, right? Fight forever.
Yeah, that's one of them that I'm like, yeah, I will 100% watch any Sami Zayn, even when they're in other matches just together, like that Money in the Bank match that they were in. That was my favorite portion of it. Like, my favorite mini match, I guess, of it was like when they were going head to head. You know what? Always put on great matches. I'm fine with it. Do it. I love Sammy. I love KO. Love it when they're working together, whether it's together or against each other. Do it. I don't care. I'm fine with that. And I would get to a one-on-one match between Kofi and Daniel Bryan rather than
maybe.
There's still triple threat.
There's still Mustafa Ali who got entered into it, which makes me
That's where I thought maybe a fatal 4-way or something.
And that's where my mind also went. Like, so, like you could do a triple threat also, like, because I think it's entirely possible, man. Like we've been saying all along that this spot might have been meant for Mustafa Ali.
I legitimately thought it was going to be.
And nobody's going to be mad of a Kofi Kingston, Mustafa Ali, Daniel Bryan WrestleMania triple threat. That has money written all over it.
Ladder match.
Please. Ladder matches. Please.
Let Kofi literally climb the mountain.
I love ladder matches. I don't care where it is. I just want to see one on the card at WrestleMania. Just one. Please.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, let's
You
move
good
on
with
then.
that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. So let's go to
Miz.
Miz and Jey Uso. Solid match, right, with the right outcome. There's not much more to say. We had some outside shenanigans with Shane McMahon attacking Jimmy Uso. It was fine. You know, the promo beforehand was fine. I'm sold on this match as much as I can be for a team of Miz and Shane, right? Like, it feels like Shane is probably going to turn on Miz. They keep focusing so much on the fact that it's his hometown. He's going to make his dad proud. He's going to make Shane proud. It feels like something's going to happen. I don't know if that's going to be Miz turning. I don't know if that's going to be Shane turning. But something's going to happen in this match, and Usos are going to walk out as the tag team champs.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you something. Hardy Boys versus Usos at WrestleMania?
That would be it. That would be a good match.
Yeah, right? Two high flyers, legendary team, tag team titles on the line.
Yeah.
Maybe.
do a best team in the world versus best team of all time type match.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that. Yeah, the Uso Penitentiary. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the amount of jokes that they would make on that build about the Hardys past and the Uso Penitentiary. Oh, yikes. All right.
Jeff, you're used to that, right?
Yeah. You've been locked down before, right, Matt?
Both have, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was good. The Usos will never cut a bad promo,
Never.
I don't think. And just a side quick note, I had a nice chuckle where they're like just ripping on them, like they think this and they think that, and then he's like they walking around like he's got a better shoe game than us, and he just leans over, he's like, no, like he actually does though, like for real.
Yeah.
It's been for a few years. He's got a way better shoe game than us. He's like, that's not the point.
Honestly, the Usos, their connection in that ring, obviously, being twins, it's just such a great promo of how they bounce off each other. I love their promos. Like you said, they can never deliver a bad one. Speaking of never delivering a bad match, Rey Mysterio and Almas took place in a Fatal 4-Way match against Samoa Joe and the champion, R-Truth. The United States title was on the line. Love the way they set up the segment because I've always thought that's a plot hole with the open challenges. Why is there not a bunch of people running out to the ring trying to get there first? Or why is there...
I'll get mine next week.
Yeah. No, like if you've got an open challenge, why is there not a lineup like crazy and it's like a sprint to the ring, right? Like, so I loved seeing that multiple people came out for the challenge. I loved R-Truth's character for a couple weeks of trying to make John Cena proud. So, where I think this is going, with Samoa Joe picking up the win there, a week ago, I thought, something different of some sort of ladder match for the United States title. Now that Samoa Joe has the championship, and the recent focus on R-Truth trying to make John Cena proud, I'm feeling a John Cena versus Samoa Joe for the U.S. title at WrestleMania. What do you think about that?
Not bad. There's definitely that possibility. There's also the possibility of Mustafa Ali.
Yes.
For Joe, because they already had, like, Joe's the one who took him out, essentially, right? Like, well, not, I guess, Rowan, but, like, Joe has had this rivalry with Ali that never really got to conclude because he was out. So there's that possibility. I don't know that John's going to be in New York WrestleMania weekend. I don't know. There's nothing on the card.
All I know is that
Joe has an open challenge, but I don't know why a heel would have an open challenge.
All I know,
unless he's just like, I can take out anyone. I don't care who you are. Like, come on, and then it's John Cena. But again, Joe should win.
You should. When it comes to John Cena, I only know the one thing about him here with WrestleMania weekend is that he was originally set to face Lars Sullivan at the show. So they had him penciled in a long time ago for the show, and that fell through. So something tells me he's going to have some sort of match at the show again, or at least some sort of appearance. And if it's against Samoa Joe, man, that would be a match I think a lot of people consider a dream match.
It would be huge.
Have we seen it before? I don't believe so, right?
Maybe in like tag aspects.
John Cena versus Samoa Joe. Let's see.
Back when John Cena was a superstar in TNA.
Yeah, no, there's literally been never that match.
Yeah.
So that is a first time ever match at WrestleMania. Like
one-on-one, that's the first time ever. I'm not sure about like tag aspect or anything.
Well, yeah,
like
I'm just
that,
trying to think because Samoa Joe spent, his Ring of Honor as TNA, while John Cena was essentially hunkering down WWE. There is no crossover there ever, right? And that's that makes me interested. I like first time ever matches at WrestleMania. Makes it feel big.
And I also like that Joe won a title. I love Joe.
Yes, yeah. Going back to Joe, congratulations to Samoa Joe winning that title. His promo after made him feel like he is the most dangerous he's been since his rivalry with Brock Lesnar. Or maybe let's say Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. Let's go to that feud as opposed to Brock Lesnar.
So he just kept losing in that feud, and I'm like, man.
Yeah.
He sounds dangerous. He feels dangerous, but he just keeps losing. Mm-hmm. Now he's won.
Yep, it's definitely good. Yes. I'm excited for the future there. Let's quickly touch on Black and Ricochet.
The future.
Yeah, Black and Ricochet taking on the Bar here. Right result winning this one. The Bar is putting other people over. Again, be careful how often the Bar is going to be losing. We said this last week. Let's be careful. Let's not give them another loss next week, right? Take them off TV for a week or two.
Yeah, take them off TV. Do not let them lose again.
Yep, I 100% agree there. I think next week what we're going to get is we're going to get a Bar and Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Aleister Black, Ricochet, and the Hardy Boys. I think we're going to get 8-man tag team match next week to kind of make up for this weird attacking thing that happened at the end. So anyways, to go with that though, this just shows the depth of the SmackDown Live tag team division compared to Raw. The 4 teams in that ring compared to the 4 teams of Heavy Machinery and the Jobbers, that's night and day. It's not even close. SmackDown kills the Raw tag team division.
100%.
And I think this confirms also that Rusev and Nakamura are going to be a tag team moving forward. This is like the first real confirmation, a couple weeks after their thing, where they have actually come out and attacked together. So it looks like that's a new tag team as well, which is a solid tag team. That's a solid tag team.
Two guys that are great and needed to do something.
But speaking of WWE needing to do something, they need to do something with these crap under a minute matches like Naomi versus Mandy Rose.
Way too quick, especially because of their history.
Exactly.
I was like, God damn it, WWE, you quick it, you're a goldfish. Like, they're literally a goldfish because they have the shortest memory span ever. It's like, oh, remember 3 weeks ago when this was a
hot feud
every week on SmackDown? And now you're just like, no, we moved on from that. We're going to have Mandy beat Naomi in 13 seconds for no reason. And then Naomi will just be there down. I put it down beside it. I didn't like the match. It was almost like the one on Raw. I didn't like the match. I thought it was stupid. I liked Asuka attacking them after, but it was like just way too short. I liked Mandy should win, yes. But in like a minute against Naomi,
we're talking 12 minutes plus needed for this match to even remotely get over the fact that Mandy Rose should be taken as a legitimate threat against Asuka. This is a fluke win, what you look at. Short wins don't benefit people you're trying to build up unless it's right at the very start. Squash matches...
Or unless it's someone like Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Or...
Like, squash matches don't work when it's not believable. They just don't. There's no way Mandy Rose should be beating Naomi in that quick amount of time. Naomi's a former women's champion. She's one of the most athletic women on the roster. She's fantastic. And
when we know how athletic she is, it's fucking ridiculous.
And we've seen these two also fight before. It's not like this is their first time fighting, right? We've seen these two fight before, and they're having us try to make us believe that Mandy Rose could beat Naomi in that quick of time. But then after the segment, they undid all of that. Yeah, you brought Asuka back to TV, but you undid even the crap booking that you just did because what do you remember? What's the final go-home moment? Asuka standing over top of over Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. That's your final moment.
Naomi looked back like smiling at Asuka. Like, I get it. They used to be like kind of a tag teaming thing. But like, it's just so dumb.
It was really dumb. Yeah, really dumb. So, all I got to say though, also with that though, it was nice to see Asuka return though. Nice to see Asuka
and to know
come
that
back.
she was healthy, because there was a couple nights ago at that live show.
Yeah.
The clip of her going down and getting like helped backstage. So the worry of like, oh no, is she hurt?
Yeah, it was. It was a
healthy
very
enough
scary.
to put up a fight.
Mm-hmm. So at least it is good to see that she's good. But also, like, do you think they put the title on Mandy?
They very well could.
I think they are gonna. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised putting the title onto Mandy Rose and then going into WrestleMania and then trying to do some sort of Sonya Deville Mandy Rose feud.
I'd be okay with it.
I'd be okay with it, but here's also the thing: you don't. To do that, you got to take the title off Asuka. And,
I know.
And that's not the choice to be doing it. Not right now. The women's division is not strong enough at this very moment on SmackDown to be trying a new champion like Mandy Rose. I don't think. It just doesn't. She doesn't have the challengers, right?
That feels like a SummerSlam thing.
I'd agree. Yeah, that feels like a summer thing, New champions like the Carmella. Like, how about Mandy Rose from Money in the Bank? Miss Money in the Bank, and she cashes in shortly after.
Miss Mandy in the Bank.
Miss Mandy in the Bank, yeah, I was trying to think of something clever, but I couldn't. Yeah, anyways. With something like that.
Sonya turns face and changes her name to Sonya the Good. KO defeated Rowan via disqualification because Daniel Bryan interfered.
Yeah.
And then they tag teamed up on him.
And then Mustafa Ali returned. Yes, welcome back, Mustafa. Nice to see. I totally thought Sami Zayn was interfering in this match, though, or going to come make the save. The way it was being built up, that felt like such a Sami Zayn return, didn't it?
especially with the comment on the opening segment of the night where Daniel
You have
Bryan
no
said,
friends.
You have no friends.
Yep.
And Kevin Owens is like, sure, I have no friends. And then later, like, oh no, he's got one friend.
He's got Mustafa Ali. So like,
I thought it was gonna be Sami Zayn though, and be like,
yeah, same.
Sami,
it felt like it was gonna be a Sami Zayn moment, and then I don't know, part of me just kind of was hoping that Sami Zayn was gonna debut here, and then come back, return. And he, like, Kevin Owens would be getting beat down or whatever, pretending that he's going to go fight, and then he just turns right on Owens and starts beating him down and joins Bryan. Like, I thought that would have been a really cool trio of Bryan, Rowan, and Sami Zayn. But we'll see. We'll see where this goes. At least Mustafa Ali has Kevin Owens back, and that puts Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali right in the WWE title picture, obviously.
Yeah. So
it's good. Mustafa Ali right where he belongs because he's entertaining as hell. So good to see him in the main event. Or at least pretty much the main event. Let's go on to the Becky Charlotte segment, though. And I think this is one of those segments that wasn't needed with the way that Monday Night Raw kind of ended. It probably should have ended the show with Mustafa Ali and Kevin Owens standing tall.
I do like that they ended Raw and SmackDown with the women's title.
I do. But the only thing is there though is the Raw segment was so much better than the SmackDown one, right? And
I enjoyed the SmackDown one still though.
Did you? With Becky Lynch no-selling the complete vicious beating of Ronda Rousey the night before? I don't know.
Okay, hang on. I enjoyed the aspect of Becky putting Charlotte in the disarmer and like literally getting dragged off her.
Okay, that was fun. Yes, that was definitely fun. But she shouldn't be able to hold on that tight. She's got a bum knee, and her arms just about got broken last night. She's got bruised ribs. How is she hanging on to the disarmer? And while people
she's
are
one tough son of a bitch, I'm telling you.
I don't want to nitpick the story.
One tough SOB.
I don't want to nitpick the story, but it's not a segment that was needed, especially when that time was taken away from Naomi and Mandy Rose, where that segment was not needed because of how Monday Night Raw left us. Charlotte cowering away from Becky Lynch as Ronda Rousey was beating her up. That's all the story you need going into the match at Fastlane. You didn't need any more. Becky's revenge could have been come on Fastlane, not now.
Yeah.
Right?
I guess the only way from a promo standpoint of building the actual Fastlane match they need, because it was so rushed They needed a second segment of just those two.
I get that. So it's one of those segments that, where you sometimes say less is more. The hype with Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte was really, really high after Monday Night Raw. Can't say the same after SmackDown Live. Like, obviously, everybody's still going to love the match. We're still going to tune in. It's going to be an awesome feud going right into it, and we're just nitpicking along the way. But it's just still one of those things that, stands out in your mind. Like, yeah, I wish the time would have been given to someone else, like Naomi and Mandy Rose. If these women are getting time on Raw for the Raw Women's Championship, let's give time for the SmackDown Women's Championship on SmackDown.
Quick note, I will say before we I say my match of the week and my MVP, which I've already announced. The armbar on Monday Night Raw that Ronda put Becky into, it was the first armbar that was an actual armbar.
Yes, it was.
And it looked vicious, and I was like, kudos to Becky, kudos to Ronda. That's an armbar. Like, as a person, like an MMA fan as well, watching and going, oh, I know what an armbar should look like and what would really hurt. Like, everything, the hips into the elbow, the thumb up, like thrust, lift. I'm like, that's an armbar that could break your arm.
Yep. I like that little detail.
Not the weird shoulder pull armbar that she was doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Vicious armbar.
It's pretty awesome to see that all it took was a heel turn for Ronda Rousey to unlock the more vicious armbar of hers. Like, if that was their plan all along, massive kudos to WWE, because then they really thought long term. Like, that is one thing where us as wrestling fans, we nitpick the stories and we nitpick the matches that happen. But to come up with these things and to build the actual stories, there's a reason why these guys get paid the big bucks, right?
And to think long term.
If one writer in the backstage was like, okay, you know what we're going to do, Ronda? You're going to have an armbar, but it's not going to be a super vicious looking armbar until you turn heel. And that will be the moment that everybody learns the real Ronda Rousey is here. If they thought that far in advance, kudos.
I also wonder if it's also maybe on like Ronda and Becky. Like, maybe Ronda's been like, listen, I don't want to legitimately break anyone's arms, so I'm gonna do this kind of like, still, it would probably still hurt a little bit, but it's not an arm bar, right? Like a legitimate break your arm bar. And I wonder if any of it was Becky just going, like, Ronnie, put me in that legitimate arm bar. Make it look like my elbow's about to snap the wrong way.
Did you see the post Raw brawl between them, where Ronda came back down? So after Raw went off the air, Ronda came back down and was delivering essentially shoots. Like she was shoot fighting, it seemed like, in the ring. And part of me wondered if this was to do with the tweet, that she, the Twitter war that they had, where Ronda Rousey bounced back by saying, Rebecca Quinn, I don't care what the script says. Next time I see you, I'm beating the living shit out of you. Right? And then part of me thinks, was Ron actually pissed off? Because Becky definitely, she went a little far on Twitter. Just a smidge, right? And
did you see the Tyler Breeze and Luke Harper stuff?
No, I didn't. What was? Oh, wait, hang on. Maybe I did. Refresh the viewers.
I guess the the rest, I don't know, certain people in the back, in the background in the locker room aren't really taking to liking how much freedom they're getting, I guess, on social media, because a while ago, I guess CM Punk had to remove a tweet a while back that said the word shit in it. And was like fined or something like that. So it's like, oh, I guess, and Tyler Breeze said something, oh, I guess that we can pretty much say anything now.
Yeah, I did see that.
And blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, at Luke Harper, next time I see you, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. And then Luke Harper replied, you should definitely pick someone who's actually on TV.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. It was brilliant.
Wow.
I was like, wow. And they're saying Rowan's an intellectual.
Yeah.
Harper is the intellectual.
Jesus, man. And again, that's proof how good social media can be for wrestlers. Like,
yeah,
I truly think this, as we're starting to wind down here on the podcast, I truly believe that the only reason why more feuds aren't being told over social media is because Vince McMahon is still not quite, he's got that generational gap, right, with social media. And the fact that fans have such an easy access to learning about the business now, the fact that everything is reported on, I think you're going to see the business start to shift, where they are releasing tweets, where they're releasing news to work us even more. And we're going to find in the next couple years that the news that we start to see online is going to be so blurred. We aren't going to know what's really news anymore and what is really a work. And they're going to go back to maintaining kayfabe by protecting the business, by not maintaining kayfabe. You know, if that makes sense.
By breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, they're going to break the fourth wall a little bit more. We saw it with the Triple H already. We've seen it with the Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey. I would not be surprised if they start focusing on the fact that, you know, some stuff are characters, but when we want to drive home a point, we're bringing out the real names. We're not afraid to do that anymore. When there's some controversy going on, we're going to have them tweet about it. We're going to tell the story over Twitter, and you need to have Twitter to be up to date on the story now, to be a hardcore wrestling fan. That's the direction that it's going to go in. Over the next couple of years, you're going to see more superstars start to use it, especially now that you've seen Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey get their feud over on Twitter. It's going to be more of a thing moving forward, and to me, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I got to run, and I know that you got...
Yes, sir. So, really quickly...
Match of the week.
Yep, match of the week for me. Fatal 4-way.
Fatal 4-way, both of us. It was just... You can't go wrong with the wrestlers in the ring. I like the title change. I do, and based on the rest of the matches throughout the week, yeah,
miles above it. Performer of the week, you said yours was Triple H.
Just that promo, like,
Yep, and for me, mine's Ronda Rousey because of the heel turn. I loved her heel turn. It was excellent.
Our MVPs of the week are two people that didn't wrestle.
Yeah. Goes to show sometimes story, maybe Undertaker's onto something. Stories do still have a spot in wrestling. And we might just have gone back on everything we said earlier. Anyways, though.
Except for me.
Yeah, except for you. Con Man likes to controversize. Oh my God, can't even speak. Anyways, we're getting off the air. Controversy creates cash. There we go. I've been Con.
I've been Bob.
You can find me on Twitter at Conman167. Where can we find you?
Bob's Wrestling. BOBSRASSLIN. Bob's Wrestling. BOBSRASSLIN.
And again, everything is down in the description below. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I've been Con.
I've been Bob, and I'm taking this hat off.
And that was the Con and Bob Podcast.